All right. All right. The game just ended. And so let's start with a shocker of Wild Card Weekend. The Green Bay Packers are officially out of the playoffs. They have been stunned by the Bears. The Bears came back and won the game 31-27. It was in rather dramatic fashion. They overcame adversity, and they have punched their ticket to the divisional round, leaving a very deflated Packers squad to go home. And I got to tell you, nothing makes me happier, quite frankly. This was a win-win playoff game, right, for Lions fans. I mean, one of these teams were going to lose. And so come share in the misery, Green Bay. We're waiting with open arms. Come on over. Come on over, because at the start of the season, they were Super Bowl favorites with the Micah Parsons talk and this and that and whoop-de-woo, and they got bounced one game later than the Lions did. So in any event, this game was not a blowout. It was a lot of fourth quarter drama, some lead changes, kind of game that'll have analysts buzzing about in the offseason. And so for Green Bay, it's another early postseason exit, which I can't say I'm surprised about. I think they're overranked every single season. And this is another one that's added to a trend of underperforming when it matters most. And so why does this matter to the Lions and the NFC at large? Well, we're going to talk staff, strategy, storylines, and specifically one name, which is Ben Johnson. And so you hear the name Ben Johnson around Detroit, it still sounds a little weird. Because Ben didn't just leave the Lions, he left to become the head coach of the Bears, which is an NFC North rival. I think when he left and he walked to Chicago to take over as head coach of the Bears, a lot of Lions fans reacted like someone went from winning your division to trying to drive the car off the cliff and you're sitting in the passenger seat watching it happen. But Johnson has shown that he belongs as head coach. I mean, the Bears are rolling, and now they've just knocked off the Packers to advance into the playoffs. And that raises an eyebrow in Detroit. I got to tell you, because it's one thing to be an OC behind Jared Goff and St. Brown and Gibbs. They are established stars. But Johnson has done something with the Bears roster that was very much in rebuild mode just last season. And so credit to him. That's absolutely a credit to him. And that brings up the narrative that's going to run through every Lions fan's head when thinking about the NFC going forward. And that's, did Detroit lose something tangible when Johnson left? I mean, right now they're hunting for a new offensive coordinator. Does it still matter now? Does Johnson leaving Detroit, did Detroit give up more than they thought they did when he left? The Packers still had a good regular season. That tie they had, if it wasn't for that tie and they had a loss, they would have had the same exact record as Detroit. And I could tell you the Detroit fans are not happy with how the Lions ended their season, myself included. But the Packers limped into the playoffs, and this was a team that almost didn't get in either. And they finished the season on a skid, quite frankly. A rare situation where a team could lose 4 straight like they did and still make their way into the playoffs. And that struggle has obviously carried over into the postseason. And meanwhile, the Bears on the other side of the ball, coached by Johnson, played loose, confident. They were resilient. They didn't give up, fought their way back. They flipped the script on a rivalry that has been historically dominated by Green Bay. I'm sure plenty of Chicago fans are well aware of all the stupid-ass remarks that Aaron Rodgers has made over the years. And so for 2026, this is setting up an interesting NFC North landscape because the Bears shouldn't be this far ahead already. The Packers should have been. The Lions should have been, but not the Bears. And so now the Lions, the Bears, Vikings, Packers, they're all in the contender scenario. But Ben Johnson just made the NFC North that much more unpredictable. For the Lions, this means that Detroit's now facing rivals who believe and are proving they can win playoff football. Ben Johnson is intimately familiar with Detroit's personnel and its schemes, and he's already beaten the Packers in a postseason game. So the NFC picture isn't exactly a two-team race anymore. It's a multi-front war. Anybody can get it. Lions fans better buckle up because this is the part where the narrative gets real. The fact that a guy from Detroit's own system just beat a historically strong Packers team in the playoffs boosts Detroit's offensive reputation across the conference. I think the wildcard outtake that matters the most for the NFL season right now is that the Packers' loss isn't just a single game. The NFC is not predictable. Teams with new leadership, like Ben Johnson and the Bears, can compete with historic franchises. And even teams with pedigrees, like Packers, Vikings, Lions, they have to earn every inch. And that means next season is wide open. There isn't a division favorite. I mean, we'll see how far the Bears go, but there isn't a division favorite here. This is a division war. Johnson's success in Chicago tells every NFC team Detroit isn't the only high-powered offense anymore. Chicago is trending upward. I mean, Caleb Williams looks pretty good. Colston Loveland looks pretty good too. I mean, they're coming along. Even with the Lions making all the noise that they have and wanted to with Goff, St. Brown, Laporta, Gibbs, the playoffs are a different beast. I mean, when you get into the postseason, some of those factors aren't going to matter. Green Bay came close, but they came up short, just like Detroit has in recent years. It happens. You have to win when it counts. Green Bay was that classic third wheel in the NFC. You know, strong regular season, capable of playoff push, yet unreliable once the bracket tightens. And that does give Detroit leverage psychologically in the division. Because Detroit doesn't have to fear the Packers. They can beat them. They've been beating them. So when we're talking about next season, when we're talking about the Lions' schedule, Sunday matchups, playoff bubbles, think about this weekend. The Bears took down the Packers. Green Bay's playoff loss and the rise of a Bears team coached by Detroit's former offensive coordinator isn't just a headline. It's a challenge now to the Lions. It's a message to the rest of the NFC. And as we roll into the 2026 season, fans should be hyped because this NFC North is now the most unpredictable, exciting division in football. So, Lions fans, hold on to your hats because this war is just beginning.